I'm here with Engine Boss Tom Chaney here, and today he's administering us the Arduous pack test. So, Tom, what is the Arduous pack test?
So the Arduous pack test, it consists of a 3 mile walk at a 45 pound pack and a 45-minute time limit to pass. So it's a pass or fail. Some of us like to go a little faster to see what we can actually do.
But we can't run them.
No, you can't run. You got to keep 1 foot on the ground at all times. So you can use a lot of people like to use a weight vest. It's started with a pack, and that's why we call it the pack test. But a weight vest is allowed, but it is 45 pounds. And back when I started in '98, I'm not going to say how long, but we actually had the step test, and that was a cardiovascular. You check your pulse, and I can't remember what it would be.
I'm not familiar with that one.
Oh yeah, it was pretty rough.
Okay.
A lot of guys passed pack test, but could not actually pass the step test.
So were they checking your vital signs after?
Yeah, before or after.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, and you step for so long, and then they check your kind of like a VO2 max, basically.
I don't even want to know what my blood pressure is after this thing. So why is it important that we have to prove ourselves and test this every year?
I'm just going to read from this.
Yeah, go ahead.
But so why it's important that we do a pack test each year is to ensure that we are physically ready to do the job as wildland firefighting. As a wildland firefighter, you are expected to work 16-hour days in arduous locations with what you have on your back for support. I look at wildland firefighters as tactical athletes. So, we're not going out and competing, but and I look at that for EMS, for law enforcement, military. That's all the thing too. I like doing fitness. If anybody knows me, I do that, and that's a big thing is doing a tactical athlete, and because you got to compete, you got to keep yourself fit. So and keeping yourself physically fit is a major deal that is overlooked by many. But if you are in leadership position, you should be a example of what is expected out there of your crew, both physically and mentally.
Cool. Yeah, I've heard that said before, like that wildland firefighters are working harder than Olympic athletes at times in worse conditions.
And a marathon, so it's a marathon. It's all day long. Like I said, you working a lot of times. You got your 10-hour days, your 12-hour days, and you get your 16-hour days. So it's sometimes you're standing around doing weather, which is not too bad. That's a great job. But other days you're out there digging line for a long time. So it gets to be a lot hard. Or you're on the saw. So our average pack, your pack is not supposed to weigh more than 25 pounds minus the water. But we all know that does not happen out there. So by the time I get gear that I need to have, just admin gear.
Fire shelter alone is like eight.
Yeah, it is.
Like 8 pounds, like a gallon of water.
Yeah. And then that's yeah. So you add everything you need. I mean, if I'm throwing my weather kit in, I'm throwing extra paperwork. I'm throwing all this other stuff that I need. I'm going to throw a stocking cap in because there ain't nothing worse than being out there like early season, late season. It's cold out. A stocking cap is probably the best thing you can have to put on your head to keep you warm.
I learned that one the hard way.
Yeah. I mean, the jacket's nice. Rain jacket. You're going to throw a rain jacket in because people don't think, oh, it's raining out. We're not going to have a fire. Oh, trust me, I've fought plenty of fire with it pouring down rain, and it's not enough to put out a fire. So,
all right, so my job's actually pretty easy. I sit in an ambulance playing with radios until somebody gets hurt, and then maybe I've got to work really hard to carry them out.
And I've never been one of those people, right?
Right. So you're actually doing the hard work. You're doing the fire suppression. How do you feel like the actual pack test compares in the terms of the physical exertion to what you are actually doing in the field?
So, like I said here, the physical exertion of the pack test is just a baseline of your capacity to be out there on the fire line, doing direct suppression of wildland fire. In my opinion, if you're struggling with this pack test, your physical fitness level is nowhere near where it should be to do the job as a wildland firefighter.
I think that's just safe for everybody. If you
Yeah, I mean, I look at it, and I also look for a lot of structural guys too. I mean, I'll be the first one to say, and not everyone wants to hear it, but if there's not if there's not a physical fitness test, there was red card. The Arduous test is a great test. If you're going to go interior with all your bunker gears, your SCBA, if you can't do an Arduous test, I mean, you probably shouldn't be doing any direct fire attack.
Yeah,
because it's like I said, it's not the hardest test out there. It's not the easiest test, but it's just a baseline.
So if somebody is feeling nervous about this test, if they're wondering if they should become a wildland firefighter or not, and maybe their big concern is taking this test. Do you have any advice for that person?
So my advice that I would give to anyone is hesitant to become a wildland firefighter, talk to your local state agency or a volunteer fire department that does wildland fire suppression and go get your basic firefighter training and experience. So like I said, like this, we got the Forest Service, the BLM, the wildland or the Fish and Game, federal. We've got a whole bunch of them. You know, the Interior Department of Interior has wildland firefighting, and then you got each state has their own department of firefighting, and they're going to go out there and they're going to get a lot more. Up here we do quite a bit of firefighting in the summertime. We rarely see structure fires very often. We see a few here and there, but a lot of them, and it might be going from wildland to structure firefighting.
That interface.
The interface and that WUI. So a lot of times you'll see that WUI, which gets to be a lot more complicated. But yeah, if you're like, I got a good job, but I want to start in this, maybe, and then get my feet, and that's kind of how I've done it. I started as a wildland firefighter way back when, right in high school, and that was pretty cool. But once you have a family, sometimes it doesn't. It's a seasonal job. It doesn't quite pay the bills. You would need something over the winter time. You got to take that job, do another job. So, but to get that experience, to get yourself up, it's being a volunteer that does do. Some of them don't do a lot of wildland firefighting, but some of them do, like we do up here. So it's a good place. So also, so once you get your basic, you can work on getting more advanced certifications. And also, if not physically fit, like you're saying for the test, you can easily work on that by walking every day and just start and then get to more advanced in your training, weights, calisthenics, and running. Like I said, we are a tactical athlete.
I just heard the Grunt Proof on his channel. You ever watch him? He was talking about just walking every day, just like you said. Like, it sounds like that's
I used to
common
be
advice.
a big boy.
Yeah.
And the first thing I did is I literally walked 7 days a week, twice a day, and I basically did the pack test twice a day.
Nice.
Yeah, 4 miles an hour. So if you want to if you guys want to experience the pack test out without weight, so get on a treadmill and literally set at 4 miles an hour, set at 2 incline, and just get on that thing and go for 45 minutes. And that's just passing it without a vest. So the incline is going to give you a little extra resistance, especially on the treadmill, but you still don't have a weight on it. So now you throw 45 pounds on yourself and do that. You'll see kind of what it's like.
I always forget how heavy that thing is until I actually put it on.
I mean,
when I
lost all the weight the first time I did the pack test, it was so easy because I'm like, man, I lost all this weight, and now
you lost the thing with the pack test.
Yeah, I'm like over. I'm like, this is so easy. And now it's like, this sucks. I mean, it doesn't suck, but it's just like that much more weight. You go grab them and you pick them up. And you're like, I grabbed Drew a pack today to do his pack test, and it was like. It's just not light, but you get, like I said, and that's something you should do every day. You should every couple times a week as a firefighter, throw on that heavy vest, throw on some, I like farmer's carry because we're always carrying stuff. So I get on a treadmill, I'll grab 2 25-pound kettlebells and I'll walk for like a mile and a half with the kettlebells in my arms. So like I'm carrying a chainsaw and like a dolmar of fuel and oil for the chainsaw or whatever. So it gives you that carrying ability and a good incline. I'll put like an 8 incline going up, packing that. And that gives me that ability. So that way, if I have to go out and pack something, because you're going to have your pack on your back and you just need to be physically, it's not the same. And I'll tell you what, and that's usually in the wintertime, you want to do something, but there's nothing like getting on the actual ground. You're like, I've been trained. And you hit a real trail. And you feel so out of shape because it's the slippery slope ground and uneven, and it's not the same. 100%.
So you've got a YouTube channel here.
So
you got some of your adventures.
Yeah, I do. I need to probably do a little bit more, but I do Uncle Rupert Outdoors, and I do have a photography. I call it Just Tip Photography. So
is that on YouTube?
No, it's not. I just do that on my Facebook page. So that's.
How do people find you?
If you look for Just Tip Photography, that's
just for tip.
Just the tip.
Oh goodness. Ooh.
Yes, I know. But yeah, so we're just a tip Idaho.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So
yes, that's what it meant. Yes.
You use your own imagination, but I know I don't like doing weddings, so I figured I named it something kind of cute, and I've never had anybody ask me for a wedding, except for one of our fellow firefighters, and
Weird wedding.
that was a well, no, one of our fellow firefighters. She had to do her wedding, and that's the only one I probably would ever do because good person like my little sister, and not going to be. I do not want to do a wedding, and I was so nervous. That was the only time because you get like one shot.
Right.
I do. I take
memory of
I
that.
take videos of like of dirt drags of I got the mud dogs, take photos. I do aerial with my drone. I do all this other stuff.
Was that you buzzing me with the drone during that mud
No,
dog
that
call?
was not me. That was someone
okay.
else. I was over at the.
I missed some footage.
No, that was I don't know who that was.
So what is your YouTube channel name?
So mine is Uncle Reaper's Outdoor.
Uncle Reaper Outdoor.
Yeah.
Reapers or
Reaper.
Reaper singular. Okay, cool. Uncle Reaper Outdoor. I'll drop a link in the show.
So and I got a quote. So
Yeah.
I really like this one is don't wake up to watch the sunrise. Wake up earlier and let the sunrise watch you rise.
Oh, right on.
So just get up and
Who said this?
I have no idea.
That's great. Whatever.
I mean, whoever said that was a great one. I like to live up on get up early because if you sleeping all day long, you've wasted your day, and
Right on.
So.
All right, my very last question for you: am I going to pass this test today?
I think you'll pass the test today, bud. I got faith in you.
I'm a little nervous.
I mean, my medics are there. I love them. They've been there for me a few times. I can guarantee it. I've been in the back of the bus a couple times and not helping. I've been in the back helping. I've been driving it, but I've also been in the laying on that stretcher before. So and they take care of us. So
Needle recipient position.
needle recipient. Yeah, taking an IV in the back because I got a little overzealous in what I was doing, but that's all right. But we love our medics, and that's why we're helping our medics out because we need them out there on the fire line with us because they're an essential part.
I really appreciate you having us out here. All right, let's go get ready for this test.
Thanks, guys.
I always forget how heavy these are. I have to put it on. I've been working harder this year than I think I ever have. Unfortunately, I'm also older than I've ever been before, so we'll see how this goes. Here we go. So I tend to think the first mile is the hardest, and then the second mile is the hardest, and then the third mile is the hardest. Gotta put on some tunes and cruise. So we're like, I don't know, a mile in. I have no idea actually. And all the tall people have passed me. Also, all the short people have passed me. So, this sucks. But hey, gonna be out here. Beautiful God's country. Just enjoying the process, this opportunity to prove myself, do the very best I can, maybe make some money if I get an assignment this year. Hey, I don't regret this one bit. Last turn. I have just south of 10 minutes to button this up. All the young guys that ditched me, left me in the dust, disrespecting their elders. I'm gonna have to push. Whew. Finish line up ahead. I think I made it. Let's check in, see how I did. How am I doing? Nice. Yeah, yeah.
42 what?
42, 14?
Yeah.
45 pounds. 45 minutes.
Hey, that's all you gotta do.
3 miles. 42, 14. I'm 40 years old. What's your excuse? Get out here and fight some fires with us.